Yeah, this episode is for Father's Day. They are the foundation, haligi, right? So this is for every man, daddy, tatay, yung mga lalaki, no? That they have this mentality or lalaki ka, dapat matapang ka. Lalaki ka, dapat hindi ka umiiyak. That's very manly. They're strong. The comparison between girls and boys based on what I observe is when girls saw each other kahit sa coffee shop lang yan, uy, alam mo ba, ganito yung chika ko sa'yo. Tapos umiyak na, nakakainis kasi siya. Ganun na moment. Pero yung boys, they don't do that. They don't just share things, they want to keep it for themselves lang. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that, but they don't show emotion. And I believe to give monetary, yes, being a good man, that's what it is. Especially, I believe all the dads that I know, they're not just doing the bare minimum, they're doing above the minimum. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Jam with Jam. So for today's episode, we will be honoring our tatay, ama, daddy, papa ng tahanan. So yeah, this episode is for Father's Day. We want to honor our super dad that wakes up every morning for the family, even though, 'di ba, they're tired already from work the other day, they will still wake up and they are the foundation, haligi, sabi nga sa Filipino or Tagalog. Sila ang haligi ng ating tahanan. They provide, they give us shelter, they shelter us, right? And let's talk about kamusta sila, or let's talk about the dads, the people, the daddy around us, the papa, the tatay around us. Because you know what, here in the Philippines, we all know that, especially siguro yung mga lalaki, no, that they have this mentality or I don't know how do you frame that, but if you are like tatay or ama ng tahanan, di ba? Ang bata pa lang, you were like kinuhubog na, parang ganun. Bata pa lang, there's this whisper in their ears like, lalaki ka, dapat matapang ka. Lalaki ka, dapat hindi ka umiiyak. Ganun. So, I mean, yeah, that's very manly. That is what separates man from woman, right? They're strong, they're tough, they don't show emotions. But I think most of the man, because I've been also with different man, like mga tito ko, asawa ko, kaibigan kong lalaki, right? That's what I mean. So, even though I don't have dad growing up, sila yung naging father figure ko. So, a lot of them, I didn't really see emotions. When they're sad, they don't cry like girls. We cry a lot or we show emotions. We're like vulnerable girls. And if kasi girls, the comparison between girls and boys based on what I observe is, di ba, when girls saw each other kahit sa coffee shop lang yan, uy, alam mo ba, ganito yung chika ko sa'yo. Tapos umiyak na, ay, nakakainis kasi siya. Ganun na moment. Pero yung boys, they don't do that. They don't open those things right away. Kasi tayo girls, parang when we see some girls, we easily connect with one another. Boys don't really have, based on my observation, right? They don't just share things. They want to keep it for themselves lang, right? And siguro hindi lang siya culture ng Philippines. Siguro ganun din siya sa mga other countries or what. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that, but I think one of the things that we lack when we're around boys or men is that, they don't show emotion. What they pretend, or not pretend, what they show off is that they're strong, they don't complain, that they provide, that they don't cry, and whatsoever. And siguro most of them, they want to show emotion, but that's not necessary at the back of their mind siguro. what's important for them is to provide, especially if they already have a family, and to give monetary or financial support to their family, right? And I believe, yes, being a good man, that's what it is. Kasi nga 'di ba sabi nila, it madaling maging tatay pero mahirap magpakatatay. Right? So this is for every man, daddy, tatay who worked so hard for the rest, parang 'di ba mula nung nagkapamilya sila, even nung wala pa silang family of their own, parang yung iba breadwinner ng kanilang family, and the moment they step into a fatherhood, that's the time they, I know some people, mga yung ibang lalaki, daddy ganyan, they step up to go outside the country. I want to honor those dads that really show up, they're responsible, they show up for their families. And if this is for you, or if you know someone that who's doing this, share this to them, because again, this is for them. So let's recognize dad who are working abroad, or dads who keep on looking for ways to provide for their family. 'Di ba yung mga daddies, most of the time, they're the one who sacrifice the time just for them to earn money. They sacrifice the time kapalit ng magandang kinabukasan or magandang edukasyon para sa mga anak nila. I know some, and relative ko yung isa, tito ko, 'di ba? Good example. Though I don't have my direct first-hand experience, I saw it sa tito ko na he go outside the country just to provide for their family. Magkaroon sila ng magandang bahay, magkaroon sila ng magandang edukasyon, ng magandang negosyo, ganyan. And somehow, 'di ba, there are family who forgot, who, or hindi naman siguro, or sometimes they really don't say it to their husband or to their dad na, "Daddy, thank you for working abroad just for us to have this life that we're having right now. Dad, thank you for pagtitiis mo sa ibang bansa." We forgot to say those words to our dad just because what, you know, mindset lang is, "Uy, daddy, sa Pasko, ito yung gusto ko. Uy, daddy, sa birthday ko. Daddy, enrollment na namin. Ito yung tuition fee ko." Diba? Most of them, that's what they heard. Let's somehow reverse that, especially this Father's Day, right? We celebrate them because for the dads, I think they're carrying a lot of burdens and responsibility in terms of finances, because that's how it is even back in the 90s or early 90s, dad is the one who should be providing. Kung sino mapapangasawa nila, meron na dapat bahay, 'di ba? Or bago sila magkaroon ng pamilya, ng anak, they already have a house, the business, wealthy. Di ba ganun yung pinoportray, even yung before, parang ano ba yun? Endowment ba tawag? I forgot the term. But if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. They sacrificed their own time. They didn't see yung mga anak nila growing up, the milestone, their graduation, the birthday. They don't see that. Most of the people that I know of, they could just see it through either the video call. And sometimes, yung masakit pa doon is kapag let's say for example, na lay off yung father for work, sometimes they will feel like they're worthless, or they've been downgraded, and the respect is not there anymore for them. And I believe in return, what we should do as relatives, or even first hand, like kung sila, asawa man natin yon, or family member naman natin yon, we lift them up, because you don't forget all the sacrifices that they do just because of certain events that happen that they don't really also want to happen for themselves, right? And when we were younger kasi, especially now that I'm a married person, right? I tend to see some of the guys, or like my tito, or kapamilya, or even ka-churchmate. I saw somehow, yet yes, some of the dads that when I look at them, when I hear them talk, they're kind of strict. Parang, stricto naman nito ni tito, stricto naman nito ni ano, 'di ba? Parang, and there's somehow they have, again, their emotion is very distant, especially if they work abroad, 'di ba? They don't intervene to those mom who spank their kids or who discipline them, because for them that's the role already of the mom. They give it that because their role is to provide again for a bigger picture, because at the back of their mind siguro, I will provide for this family because I don't want them to suffer or to go through to the situation I've been with when I was younger, when I was at their age, right? I believe every parent has that mindset, diba? Because I have that mindset, and I believe Chris has that mindset. And adulthood changes our perspective of how a dad really is, because from the outside perspective, 'di ba, kapag ikaw yung paano ba, ikaw yung anak, you see them as strict. You see them, ba to si daddy naman to nakibo, hindi man to nagsalita or wala man siyang opinion, 'di ba? But when we understand the situation, especially I believe most of us who grew up to that kind of situation, we know better now. We understand them better now. And I mean, when they provide kasi, that's the only time siguro that they saw that they've been useful, that people see them, that people value them, when in fact, that's not just their worth. And hopefully, every one of us will show that to every dad or every ama ng tahanan na meron tayo. There are times I believe that also dad feels lonely, and because again, on a not first-hand experience pala, on my encounter, with my relatives, them being away, they don't really tell stories of what's happening on their workload. What are the what are the distress, what are the stress that's causing them there, what's the challenges, because people also don't ask them. Diba? Totoo ba yun? So if you're a wife and you have a husband who's outside the country, or if you're a daughter or a son who's your dad is sacrificing his energy and time to be away with you, with sa inyong family, just to provide, then this is the time for you to tell them that you value them, that you appreciate their effort going outside. Kasi it takes a lot of courage to go outside the country, na malayo ka milya-milya sa pamilya mo just to provide. It takes a lot of courage because you don't know anyone there. 'Di ba? You just, what they have is lakas ng loob. Kasi paano pag hindi pala mabait yung napuntahan nilang mga nakasama nila dong, paano ba, co-workers. Karamihan doon ibang lahi. Or kung meron mang Filipino siguro, 'di ba? They don't really know. The culture there is very different. Lakas ng loob, pagmamahal sa pamilya, yun yung baon nila ng mga OFW na nag-work for their family, right? They also feel exhausted, no, exhaustion, especially, yun nga, because they keep everything to themselves. And sometimes the small actions that they do, or we forgot to somehow praise them. I have this rule in my life the moment I started working, is that you praise in public and you criticize or correct in private. You praise your husband, your dad in public, and if your husband did something in public, you correct them in private, right? Because you don't want the people to see them lower just because of you talking to them in a different way, right? And just a quick question to every woman watching us right now. Do you think the way you speak with your wife is showing respect? The way you talk to your husband when you're outside, does it show that you respect and love your husband? Or you sound complainant all the time? We should not be that, right? We should be the Proverbs 31 woman. So for me, as a woman, we need to learn how to engage to our husband, or if you're a daughter watching this, you need to learn how to engage to your dad. Because again, boys won't open up right away just like girls. 'Di ba? Kumbaga may preheat pa sila. Hindi yung kumukulo sila agad na mantika na when you deep fry, they're gonna lulutuin agad nila, 'di ba? No. Especially if let's say yung tatay nyo is nandito naman sa Philippines, 'di ba? And they're working 8 to 5 tapos umuwi na sila 6 or 7 or 8 because of traffic or even because of OT, nag-OT sila. Why not tell to them, Dad, thank you for overtime na ginagawa mo para madagdagan yung income natin. Hindi yung, ano ba yan, overtime ka na naman. Ganun, 'di ba? Or ano ba yan, hindi pa natin nabayaran yung bill kasi hindi mo pa niremit sa akin yung sahod mo. Ganun. Ano ba yun? Ba't ganun? Wag naman ganun, 'di ba? So, anyways, they are, my point again, my point to that is they are human. If they feel respected, they feel love, then that will reciprocate as well, and it will show to the marriage that you have. Because if you're downgrading your partner, you're also downgrading yourself. Because again, partnership yung marriage, and if you don't have that certain respect to your father on a certain note, 'di ba? Kindly ask yourselves, do you even deserve to be studying in that mamahaling school? Do you even deserve to have that mamahaling phone? Have that mamahaling bag? 'Di ba? Because they're doing everything, not especially I believe all the dads that I know, they're not just doing the bare minimum, they're doing above the minimum just to give comfort to every family nakakilala ko. So why not show them, appreciate them, tell them how much you love them. When they cook, tell them, thank you for cooking, Dad. When they clean the house, Dad, thank you for cooking. When they wash the dishes, thank you for cleaning the dishes, Dad. Hindi yung, ay, salamat, naghugas ka, di ba? Ay, salamat, nagsampay ka. Oh my gosh, let's not be like that. We should be thankful because one day or another, you will miss them. You will miss how strong they are. You will, respect how much effort they put into just to put you into the school that you are right now, just to give you all the belongings that you have, all the things that you have, right? Let's admit it because there are times that the, yung presensya lang ng tatay natin dapat happy na tayo when we're with them. Or just a simple like when they're here, when you're around them, just tell them the things that you like them. Kasi in the culture that we're in right now, it's easier to say a lot of stuff that we don't want about our dad or even to our partners, even to our kids or whatever it is. It's easier to complain just to be grateful for things. And I think we need to practice that, right? For us to have a more peaceful, harmonious relationship with our dad, with everyone. I know it's easier said than done, but why not practice it with one thing that you see na ginagawa ng tatay nyo na or ng husband nyo na consistently nakikita nyo like nag-work, di ba? Thank you for working for this family because believe it or not, there's still dad there that who don't really work just because they don't like to, or they don't really work because they have a lot of excuses, even though they're strong, they're capable. But you know what I mean. So give them a hug if you're not that person who gives hug. Every dad will really appreciate if you hug them, especially if you're not that type of family who hug, who kiss. So let me ask you this question. When was the last time that you hug your husband? When was the last time that you hug your daddy, your papa? When was the last time that you say thank you to your dad? Right? Ask that question. And kung bata ka pa noon, 3 years old ka lang, my goodness, this is the time for you to say that, thank you, daddy, or to the wife watching there. Let's show appreciation to our husband, to yung tatay natin kung buhay pa, mga tatay nyo kung buhay pa. Show to them that we love and appreciate every single effort that they've been doing. Because I believe every dad is also battling some emotional, financial stress that they don't just, again, want to share to everyone because they don't want to be a burden to their other wife or to the kids or to the family, right? So again, to all the fathers who stay being dad, you're doing a good job. Give yourself a pat on the back. And if you're a daughter, again, say thank you to your dad, to your papa, however you call them. And to the wives out there, do you know what gift does your husband want? right? And if you do, you're doing a good job also as a wife. If not, it's time for you to know what it is that they like. Let us not be selfish and living only on our own bubbles, because they all have their own problem as well, but we need to, work as a team. So greet your father, and to all father and soon to be dad there, we salute you, we appreciate you, and thank you for all your hard work and effort. And so if you are watching this and you know someone who might want to hear or need to hear this, share this with them. And again, everyone, you have a lovely and productive, meaningful day. Subscribe to my channel, like and share. Jam and Jams.